For over a decade, a ghost haunted the rain-slicked streets of the Pacific Northwest, a phantom known only as the cross-country killer. His reign of terror began in the quiet suburbs of Portland, Oregon, with the brutal murder of a young librarian. The crime scene was a chilling tableau of precision and control, but strangely, it offered almost no forensic evidence. No fingerprints, no DNA, no fibers. The only clue was a single, cryptic symbol carved into the victim's windowsill. A simple, three-pronged fork. The Portland police were baffled. They had a ghost, a specter who could enter a locked home, commit a horrific act, and vanish without a trace. A year later, the same symbol appeared at another crime scene. This time in Seattle, Washington. The victim, a software engineer, was killed in the same methodical, ritualistic manner. The FBI was called in, and a multi-state task force was formed. They named him the Cross-Country Killer, a nod to his chilling mobility. The lead investigator, a seasoned FBI agent named Marcus Thorne, became consumed by the case. He pored over every detail, every file, every dead end. Thorne noticed a pattern. The victims were all successful, well-liked professionals, living quiet, unassuming lives. They weren't connected to each other in any obvious way. The only link was the killer and his bizarre calling card. Over the next 10 years, the body count rose to 12. Killings were reported in Boise, Salt Lake City, and even as far east as Denver. Each time, the same meticulous method, the same lack of evidence, and the same terrifying symbol left behind. The media went into a frenzy. News channels broadcast nightly specials, speculating on the killer's identity. Was he a long-haul trucker? A traveling salesman? A phantom with the ability to be everywhere and nowhere at once? The psychological profilers at Quantico worked tirelessly to build a picture of the man. They believed he was intelligent, patient, and highly organized. He likely held a job that allowed him to travel without suspicion. He was a chameleon, a man who could blend into any crowd, an everyman who was anything but. The profilers theorized that his motives were rooted in a deep-seated resentment, perhaps stemming from a traumatic childhood where he felt overlooked and powerless. The killings were his way of asserting control, of leaving a mark on a world that had ignored him. Investigators interviewed thousands of people. They followed countless leads that led to frustrating dead ends. The cross-country killer seemed infallible, a criminal mastermind who would never be caught. Agent Thorne, now gray-haired and weary, felt the weight of every unsolved case pressing down on him. The faces of the victims haunted his dreams. He had sacrificed his personal life, his health, all in pursuit of a ghost. Then came the 13th victim. In a quiet neighborhood in Sacramento, California, a local architect was found dead in his home office. The scene was sickeningly familiar. The same brutal efficiency, the same clinical cleanliness, and on the windowsill, the three-pronged fork. The local police secured the scene, and Agent Thorne was on the next flight out. He walked through the house, a cold dread washing over him. It felt like another dead end, another victory for the killer. But this time something was different. As the forensics team combed through the pristine crime scene, a junior technician noticed something almost invisible. Tucked deep within the plush fibers of an area rug near the front door was a single, small object. It was a lapel pin, the kind you get for long service at a company. This one was for a regional logistics and shipping firm, celebrating 20 years of employment. It was a tiny mistake, a one-in-a-million oversight. Maybe it fell off as he was leaving. Maybe he got careless, arrogant after a decade of success. But it was the break they needed. The task force immediately subpoenaed the employment records for the logistics company. They cross-referenced every employee who had been with the company for 20 years or more against travel logs and delivery routes that matched the dates and locations of the murders. The database churned for hours, and then a single name was flagged. Arthur Finch, a quiet middle-aged man who worked as a regional fleet manager. He was married, had 2 kids in college, and lived in a modest home in a quiet suburb. His colleagues described him as reliable, if a bit of a loner. The last guy you'd ever suspect, one of them said. His travel records were a perfect match. Portland, Seattle, Boise, Denver, Salt Lake City, Sacramento. He was in every city, on every date. It was all there, hidden in plain sight for over a decade. The arrest was swift and silent. They took Arthur Finch into custody at his office. He didn't resist. He didn't say a word. He just looked at Agent Thorne with a calm, almost serene expression. The trial was a media circus. The world was captivated by the revelation that the terrifying cross-country killer was this bland, ordinary-looking man. During the proceedings, his dark past was brought to light. Arthur Finch had grown up in a series of foster homes, bounced from family to family. He was a brilliant but invisible child, constantly overshadowed by the foster parents' biological children, who always seemed to get the praise and recognition he craved. He felt like a ghost in his own life. The final piece of the puzzle was the symbol. The three-pronged fork wasn't a fork at all. It was a trident. In one of his foster homes, there was a small, decorative fountain in the backyard, with a statue of Neptune holding a trident. The biological son of the family, a boy Arthur despised, won a regional science fair. At the award ceremony, the boy was given a small trophy and hailed as a prodigy. Later that day, Arthur stole the trophy and buried it at the base of the Neptune statue. It was his first act of defiance, his first secret victory against a world that he felt had wronged him. Each murderer was a grotesque reenactment of that feeling. He targeted successful people, people who had what he never did, recognition and a place in the world. The trident was his signature, a symbol of his power and his secret. In the end, Arthur Finch was found guilty on all 12 counts of murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Agent Thorne was there in the courtroom to see it. He felt no elation, only a profound sense of exhaustion. Justice had been served, but the ghosts of the victims would remain. The case of the cross-country killer was a chilling reminder that the most monstrous evil can hide behind the most ordinary of faces. It took over a decade, but a single, tiny lapel pin finally brought a monster's reign to an end. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the darkest corners of criminal history. Stay safe out there.